Hey, so wrapped up the reinstall on your Parks Graflex 2.0. So you sent two Graflexes, one kind of in a A&H A New Hope configuration, one in a ESB Empire Strikes Back configuration. And we just kind of mishmash the two together so we have a roughly Empire Strikes Back configuration for the repaired saber. So here's our Parks Graflex. It's got the two red buttons. Got this back one, which is the activation. And then we got the front one for auxiliary. You have your 7/8 inch blade plug in there. Got the clamp with the clamp card in the ESB configuration, with the kind of solder blobs there on the clamp card. So to access the internals, first you want to loosen the clamp. Make sure that you kind of hold on to this clamp card, because once this lever is loose, the clamp card is also loose. So just kind of hold that in place. Or as you're unscrewing the body section, just kind of keep it somewhere safe. So to access the internals, just unscrew the body piece. Unlike a Graflex replica, the Parks Graflex is one, I believe maybe like one of the two Graflexes which actually have a screwed on pommel or a screwed on body section. So here's your updated static chassis. We've got the Proffie board that we extracted from the old install. Got the kill switch also extracted. I replaced the speaker because the previous speaker was using an 8 ohm, which actually reduces the volume quite a bit on Proffie. So I swapped it over to a 4 ohm 3 watt speaker, which should be a lot louder now. Got our battery holder back here. Got two panels for accent LED strips. Let's turn the kill switch on.
We've got to do something.
So currently for the LED strips on the sides, I have it stylized so that it shows the current battery level with the pulsing indicator. To the sides, I also have it partitioned to show the main blade color. So currently it's on a New Hope styling, so it's kind of like a cyan or a sky blue. Let's flip that off. For the battery holder, usually I like having the positive facing towards the emitter, but for Graflexes I actually make it so that the positive faces towards the speaker, because the clamp kind of blocks access for you to actually access the battery. So I flipped it over here so I can actually dig your fingernail on the positive end. Gives you some room there. So there's your battery holder. Got the spring side for the negative. Got the positive end, the button top, facing towards the speaker. And now on my chassis, there's a little groove on the negative side that helps to hold the battery in a little bit tighter. When inserting the battery, I like to do negative first, so it kind of gets into that groove. Slot that in, compress it, and then slide it in. Over here we have our kill switch. So currently it's in the off position. You'll notice that there's like an O and an I symbol for open circuit, closed circuit, or off and on.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
So just flipping it over to the on position. When putting the pommel back on, you want to loosen the lever. That way the clamp isn't kind of like clamping on the body section. So once that's loosened, you can now slide the body back on, and then just screw it in all the way. About here or so. And then you can now tighten the lever back on, make sure the control card is back in place. So on the saber I configured swing on as well as twist off. You can also use the main button here and the auxiliary button there. Let's put a blade in here. Since this is a Graflex, there's actually two kind of mechanisms for blade retention. There's one here, so I actually replaced the brass slotted screw that we had previously. I just swapped it over to a stainless steel. It's not exactly accurate, but it's closer than the brass version. So when loosening, just kind of be careful that your flathead screwdriver is only touching the flathead screw. And that should loosen it enough. So once you loosen the blade retention screw, you need to now open up the bunny ears. So press down on the bunny ears at the back, slide your blade plug out. And then doing the opposite way, when inserting the blade, you need to press down on the bunny ears. Just press down on there, make sure that's kind of centered in the actual emitter, and then just slide it in. Make sure that the blade retention screw is loosened as well. So now that we have the blade in, you just want to make sure that the NeoPixel blade is actually making contact with the NeoPixel connector. So I actually swapped out the NeoPixel connector on the previous install with one of my own. That way we have blade detection on it. So when the NeoPixel blade makes contact with the NeoPixel connector, it makes a sound. And then when it disconnects, it also makes a blade removal sound. So slide that back in, tighten the blade retention screw. Now that we have our blade in, we can play with the saber. So because I do have like a full length 36-inch 7/8 inch blade, it's kind of a mouthful, my movements are kind of going to be limited. So got your NeoPixel, got blaster blocks, got smooth swing, accent swings. Flash.
I'm not afraid.
I've also loaded all of the previous fonts on there, so that previous one was a New Hope font. This is an ESB font.
You will try.
Got Anakin from Revenge of the Sith.
I need a weapon! You have one!
The Force Awakens. Production, which is one of the custom fonts on there. Got Vader.
Ahsoka Tano. Sabine Wren.
This party, folks.
That I'm going to need to change back to a purple. So I'll get that fixed up before sending this back to you.
I am Luke Skywalker.
This is the weapon of a Jedi.
And then back to ANH. So there you go. There's your Graflex. Thank you so much for letting me work on this, and may the Force be with you.